So hi, I'm Sarah Cooperman. I'm the CEO of SCW Fitness, and I have wonderful people that I've been talking with for the last half hour, getting ready for the webinar, right? No, we've been talking about recipes, meeting boyfriends, discussing why our partners drive us crazy, doing all the normal things that people do. But we're doing a webinar today on creating memorable classes online. With many of us still teaching primarily online, what can we do to make those classes memorable, as memorable as they are in the club? So we've got this wonderful expert panel. They're going to tell us little tips and tricks that they use that have worked with them. And we've got Kelly Roberts with us. Kelly she has certifications from just about everyone, and she's also an SCW faculty member. She leads several of our certifications, active aging, personal training to B2, and she's also an inductee into the esteemed National Fitness Hall of Fame. And then we have the gorgeous Jeff Howard. Yes, he needs a haircut, but we love him anyway. He's the world-renowned fitness instructor, celebrity trainer. He was a pioneer instructor at the Golden Door, and he stars in numerous fitness videos. He's also on the SCW faculty, leads our group exercise certification, as well as our aqua certification. I think you even led the yoga certification, which is kind of crazy. And then we have the gorgeous Jessica Maurer with us. She is also on our SCW faculty. She wrote one of our brand new certifications on social media. Don't miss it. And she is the Senior Director of Development for Fit for Mom. And she's also a well-renowned social media consultant. And I do have to tell you, she's the SCW social media consultant. She's fabulous. So we're very pleased to have her on board. So she's going to share all the secrets so that we can do this. I'm thrilled that you all already have done what I always ask you to do, which is move your mouse, go to the left of that green share button and click on the chat box. Tell me where you're from: Texas, Maryland, Virginia, the Bronx in New York, Rhode Island, Michigan, Southern California, Austin, Texas, Knoxville, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Chicago. Yay, Chicago. I'm from Chicago. Crazy cold here, but we do love it. So we're just going to get right down to it, because I know you're going to have a lot of questions. Please type them in the chat box. We're here for you. We want to answer these things. I'm going to start with Jeff Howard. What elements from live in-person classes should I be including in my streaming classes?
To be honest with you, I think everything. I think from now on, if you're teaching a live class and you do not have an iPhone or an iPad in front of you recording it or going live with it, you're missing out. Because if you're going to go live, you might as well record it and then make revenue from it at another time. So for me, there's nothing I teach anymore without recording it. Of course, we have to ask the members to make sure they're okay if they're in it. But with our 6 feet distancing still here in Louisville, we separate them around so they just basically see us. But Sarah, I don't think we should. I think everything should be recorded. I think that with what's going on now in the world and with Peloton, we're learning from them. Peloton Cycle, why is it so popular? Because they want to do when they want to do it. So record it and release it on your social media.
Well, interestingly enough, we have about 100 people that have already showed up to the webinar, but we had 300 that registered. We're finding that at least two-thirds, 60% of the people want to watch recordings. We've done our registrations for our live stream mania, and now we have PT Apex coming on. And the people that want to do the recording, 76% of them actually pay a little extra and do the record and opt to have the option of the recording. So Jeff, I have to fully agree with you. And Jessica, I saw you nodding. What are your thoughts about recording the sessions and how we're going to post them?
I absolutely think that it's necessary to be able to multifaceted what you're doing. So instead of just doing it once in a live setting, be able to record it and use it or stream it while you're doing it, because there are going to be people who don't feel comfortable coming back to a live setting, but you can still reach them virtually in the same time that you're teaching live. As long as you're following the right protocols, you'll be able to reach a wider audience, allowing them to choose when they work out with you instead of you choosing when they get to work out with you.
I think that's wonderful. And I just saw in the chat box, I love this. We've got Rob DeHart. He's from AV Now. AV Now, actually, it's kind of embarrassing, but they helped the YMCA where I teach. I teach at McGaw YMCA every Tuesday and Friday morning. And they helped them get a microphone and a little mixer and a better screen so that as the teachers, we could see ourselves. And the microphone, we used like an inexpensive one, and it just, in the little mixer, it was inexpensive and it was fabulous. So if you guys have any technical questions, Rob, if you're there, Rob, type your email address in there so that people can reach out to you. Kelly, now what are your thoughts about the recording?
I think it's a great idea. I'm actually working for a couple of companies that I am recording for them. They've hired me to record for them. I'm working for American Specialty Health, and that's for the active older adult. And I'm filming 2 classes a week for them. And I'm also filming for another company that I used to teach for live, and they've gone completely virtual now. And I was just sitting down to some of those videos to edit them, to repurpose them for some social media. So I keep all of what I've recorded, and I'm multi-purposing it.
Oh, that's great. And we need to do that, you guys, because we've got to look at what's happening with the clubs. You take the clubs, we were at 100%. They say 30% are never going to reopen again. So we've got 70% of the clubs that are open. And the Group X schedules, they've reduced them because people are scared to go into the clubs. So we've got so many of us out of work now. We shouldn't be out of work. Now, Jeff, I know you started your own club. Now, that's a terrifying concept here, to start your own facility. But what was your thought process? What are your chart of accounts? How are you able to manage this?
That's great. So first of all, people are asking about music when we're live streaming and when we're doing stuff. And you guys, it's very simple. Since we've had the pandemic, all of our music companies have made music that is designed for live streaming. And it's not like the old days where it sounded like elevator music. It actually sounds like current music, and it's got a great beat and it's got BPMs. So you just have to look into different music companies that you use, and they have that available for you. Okay, so don't worry about that. Also, simple is easy. Don't overthink any of this when you're live streaming. Sarah, even when she's doing it at the Y, it's not rocket science. They've got you set up for it. Now, for me, I basically opened up, I was with a facility before COVID. Things kind of got a little messy when we reopened, and I just decided it wasn't a good fit for me anymore. They wanted me to work in X amount of classes. I didn't feel very safe. So I was teaching outside for a long period of time, but it got cold where I'm living. So the members actually found a location for me, and they negotiated it. And you guys, right now, there's so much retail space available that you could walk in and say, I want to give you this amount, and they'll let you. And guess what else? As Sarah just said, a lot of the schedules are so open that pre-existing clubs will allow you to sublease from them 2 hours. And guess what? The rate will probably be $20 an hour. That's all they're going to ask you. Okay. So open your minds up about thinking a little bit outside the box. All of our emails will be available for you if you need help with any of that. But for me, I opened up my own facility because I forced to because of the weather. But my main income is streaming. So as long as I have 10 people in-house paying a rate, I then stream on top of that, and that goes to my live members as well. And so I've kind of incorporated the two together because my business model has had to change. The old model is never going to work again. And sadly, guys, we had spoken before COVID at gyms that part of our membership was going to include videos because we had to look at what was going on in the world. And so this has just forced us to do it, okay? And that's the thing. It's kind of the cart before the horse. But we had talked about this, I'll be honest with you, at most of our facilities for about 6 months prior that we were going to videotape. Now we just have to.
Yeah. Kelly, now you became somewhat of an expert at live streaming with your personal training clients.
Yep.
And, you know, creating a memorable class is not just about a group class, but it's also, you know, a memorable session. So you've also, I think you've grown that as well.
Yep, I've picked up 11 clients since the shutdown. There's 2 of them no, 4 of them are outdoor clients, and the rest of them are all online and virtual, including a 95-year-old, a 91-year-old, someone with Parkinson's. I'm working with some pretty challenging situations virtually, and it's definitely rewarding, but not easy, because trying to have them understand that I need to see them, especially older people who are challenged by technology, really struggle with understanding how important it is that I can see them. They think that they just need to see me, but it's quite the reverse. I need to see them. So that seems to be the biggest challenge in one-on-one sessions. But I'm also doing Zoom one-on-one, as well as FaceTime. Zoom and FaceTime are my 2 primary modalities.
Yeah. And you know, what's interesting is when I went back personally, when I went back to teaching at the Y, oh my gosh, all my days, 12 years of being on QVC, it all came back. If I can give you guys one clue, if you're sitting there and you're streaming out of your home, just pretend that your friend is that camera. And I've even taped a picture up on my on my camera, and I smile and I talk to them and I pretend they're really there. And don't have the microphone in front of your mouth, because we can't see your mouth and people lip read. So I always put it by my chin, and also then you don't get that heavy breathing and the spitting. You know, it was so interesting about setting everything up, getting there early, getting on time, getting there early, and checking your movements. How far am I going to move right? How far am I going to move left? Are my arms going to still be in and down? Like, if I asked all 4 of us to stand up, we're all wearing our underwear. That's all we're wearing. No, I mean, we're wearing workout clothes on the bottom. I'm wearing a neon orange skirt. I don't think Jeff's even wearing pants. But I think, if you think about the screen and you think about a person, like Kelly, because you have to keep yourself really big so people can see you. Have you learned to tilt your camera? Have you been playing with that so that they really can see and copy what you're doing?
Well, I use a webcam for my Zoom group classes, and my webcam is quite high. I put that on a table, and I do exactly what you do. When I'm filming and I don't have people there, like what I'm doing for American Specialty Health, I imagine that I'm talking to someone. So I put my client Rose there, or I put Judy there, or this is for Judy, this is for Linda, this is for Rose. I put my clients in the camera, so I am really truly teaching someone, even if it's just a camera. That is the best thing you can do. It also helps for nervousness.
Yes, and you can stay 6 feet apart. Like, Jeff, how do you film your class and have the camera looking on you? Because I think it's far more interesting when we have multiple people on.
Right. So for me, I always have, like, I'm in the front, and then I have my people here on either side of me, but they're so far back. And then I have a third layer even further back, so you can see them. And I always have people that are modifying on left or right of me. And you guys are asking, like, what are you using? Like right now I'm on my iPad, okay? Kelly uses a camera. I use my iPhone to stream everything I stream in my classroom. And I basically just put, I hate to say it, I put something on my mirror that sucks onto the mirror, like what you would use in your car. And I put my device on that. Now, that's kind of the way I'm doing it. But I always have people, I like to teach with people around me, because I feel that I'm a better teacher that way. Yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
Somebody's asking about the webcam. Rob from AV Now, if you've got any links to your catalog that shows like different webcams you offer or cameras you offer and microphones, people are asking about that. That's very kind of you to he was generous enough to come on to help us provide these cues, because it is so important. It's important to be heard. It's important to be seen. And if you're a woman, and Jeff, you could do it too, but if you're a woman, wear lipstick. Even if you don't normally wear lipstick, because people lip read, and the more they can see. And do the introduction for your class. Come on in there close. Hi, welcome. My name is Sarah. And you got to say it every single time. And da 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 da. And then you go back and you teach. And at the end of class, I try to unmute people, come in close again. And that's when I look and I see all my age spots. It's a little disconcerting, but it's very personal. Jessica, should I be building a community online for my clients to interact within themselves as a group to build the same type of personal connections and camaraderies that we get in a live class?
Absolutely. Right now, people are looking for community. They've been so isolated for 10 months, and now they are looking for ways that they can come together and be reunited with people. And a great way to do that is through health and wellness and what we provide. So it's a great idea to be able to put something together, whether it's a Facebook private group or whether it's a WhatsApp chat, however you want to communicate, but allowing people to have conversation before and after class is a great way for you to build community. And if you're on Zoom, use the chat function to your benefit. While you may have everyone on mute in the beginning of class, ask them an icebreaker question, ask them something to type into chat as we're waiting on everyone else to get loaded in, and do the same at the end. Something as simple as, what are you going to be grateful for today? What are you going to go eat? How much water have you drank? Give them something to think about that's wellness oriented, that attaches them to you and the other people in their community.
I think that's great. You know, how much water did you drink? Do you prefer rosé or a Chardonnay? No, I'm sorry. And Kelly, have you done something that's built a community with your clients?
Part of what I've done is I have a lot of equipment that I own, and I give out equipment. So one of the things I've done is I've given everyone in my class a bender ball. So now they all have the same equipment as me, and so I can teach with that. And it's not expensive, and it creates reciprocity. And I really believe that when you create reciprocity, people feel that connection, and they feel like they owe you something in return. And it's a bender ball. It's not like I'm giving them a life cycle or something. It's just a ball. But it's amazing how they feel connected.
And did you get all their addresses and drop it off on the front door and run away with a little mask on?
Dropped it off to them. Gave it to them for Christmas presents.
Oh, that is terrific. We did. We got those bands. Actually, I think Jeff wanted the bands and Ann Gilbert wanted the bands. And it's a set of 6 bands. God, I wish I had. Maybe Mike Lieber, who's our fearless leader on the webinar, can put the link in there. And they're wonderful bands, and they're like regularly $20, and we made them half price. Oh, and those are the thigh bands. Those are really cool, because if you turn them inside out, they don't grip on your legs, like they don't pull your skin. You can do it on those with the little stuff on. But those were, we went out. We went to China. Trust me, there's no chicken blood on it or anything. We went to China, and we had ordered them well before I think COVID, and we made them very, very inexpensive for just SCW people. So everything's half price, which is kind of cool. Anyway, and what did you do, Jeff, to build that community? Because you've got a huge fund. Oh yeah, those are the tubes.
Those are great.
Yeah.
For me, it's interesting. During COVID, I was doing a lot of stuff outside of my driveway, and my partner, whose name is Mark, was in every video I did. And so people started knowing who Mark was. And when they would start to talk, they'd be like, come on, Mark, because Mark is 12 years older than me. And I would have set people around me that the people at home started identifying with, and I would talk to them. And I would actually ask the people at home, do you like hearing stories and banter while we're working out, or does it distract you? And they feel it's more of a sense of a community when you do what your stick is, whatever that means. They want to work out, but they want to be entertained along the way. And so that's why you guys all have your tribes, and that's why they want to hear about your hair or something, and they're all feeling the same thing, whether you find something on Amazon you like or not. But it's amazing to me, it's making the recognizable common, just making the people that you normally are around common, and letting them feel that same thing. And asking them questions along the way, like we're all saying, like, do you want more yoga? Do you want more this? Do you want more that? Do you want more stretching? Do you want, Kelly's hair to be longer or shorter? Saying something like that, they're all gonna like respond. So, by the way, Sarah's hair is on point. I want a thumbs up if you think it is. Something like that, then they're all like this, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And then you just kind of acknowledge it. Nobody gave a thumbs up.
Again, this is like the one day.
Yeah.
The one day. But it is true. Make it, and that's something that when you look in the camera and you pretend you're talking to your friend, or like Kelly said, just have somebody behind the camera doing it with you. Like when we're filming our Water in Motion program, the guys behind the camera, which Mike Lieber is one of the guys behind the camera, and Connie is cueing us. She'll put up a big sign that's got a smiley face on it, like basically, show some teeth, because it makes people feel connected. And that's why you guys go on these webinars. It's like, we're all a little strange, okay? We are probably the only people in the world that really enjoy exercising. The rest of our clients, it's like a chore. It's something they have to do. It's like, ew, I smell, it's not something they're enjoying. But we've built a community and we like to do these things. So possibly what I'll do is I'll stay after my class. And what I love about Zoom is I don't know people's names, but now I do, because I'm like, oh, look, there's Kelly, there's Jessica, that's Jeff. I see their name on there, except if it says iPhone and I can't tell who they are, but it's nice. And I use their name. And I think that helps you connect a little bit as well. So do you think that, Kelly, building a memorable class or community will help drive more streaming class revenue? Like, do you think like giving the Bender balls and making that connection with all your clients, that you feel like that's drawn them in and help them to stay? So not only attracted new people, but help them retain their involvement.
I absolutely have found that, that connection that I've made with the people by knowing their names, by talking to them directly, and watching them while I'm teaching them and saying, oh, great job, Rose, you look fantastic. Judy, move your hip a little bit more to the right. Just being like I would as if I was teaching them live. Make that same connection, learn names, learn little bits about who they are and what they like, so that you've got that connection as if you were teaching a live class. But I think you have to be a little bit bigger than life when you're teaching to a camera. Your movements have to be cleaner. Your cueing has to be on the money. You have to edit out superfluous words. You want to be really clear and clean and big.
And I like what you said about being able to watch people. I had an issue at the beginning where I had spotlighted myself, so all I could see was myself. And it was great. I could see my alignment and stuff like that, but the clients are these little people up on the top, or like down along the side. So what I did is I switched my view. What did I switch it to? To the gallery view. Thank you. And instead of pinning myself, I did a gallery view, but I put markings on my floor so I knew where I would go out of the frame and where I wouldn't. And you can use that blue paint masking tape because it doesn't damage your wood floors. And you can also see it through your peripheral vision, you know, because at one point I used masking tape, and you use masking tape, it's brown like the floor, and I'm stepping over and walking out of the frame. So I use the blue. I'm giving you all my, wear lipstick, okay, get your hair done, and put blue tape on your floor. Yeah. But those are some of the little tricks that also help us. Jessica, what do you recommend? You lead a whole group of Fit for Moms. So how are you doing in building a community and also making sure that you're fully seen and fully heard when you teach, when you present?
I think we have to remember that we need to be relatable, to Jeff's point, of making sure that they know we're human. We talk about our hair, we talk about what we just bought on Amazon, and our life in class, so they feel like that live component and that you are a human they can connect with and they understand you. I think the other point too of building a community is to make that personalization of recognizing them as they come in, recognizing them before they leave, follow-ups with them, whether it's an email to the entire group that came, whether it's a personal text message to thank someone who hasn't maybe been in a while. That reaching out and that little extra step of customer service will keep them coming back, because that means to them that they're just not another face on your screen. You actually recognize them. You see them as a person, not just a number in your Zoom account. So they're willing to come back as long as you are reaching out, making sure that you seem relatable. That was what makes us different than the on-demand services of like Peloton and Apple, is that they're not going to see that side of humanity. They're not going to see that side of a group fitness instructor, that personalization, that relatability. They will when they come to us, whether we're teaching live in a virtual manner or we're teaching our on-demand classes. We have to keep that in mind.
Yes. And how are you collecting, just one sec, Jessica. I just want to ask Jessica, how are you collecting an email address or a cell phone so that you text them?
I think the way that most of the fitness industry is going right now is in programs. It's not into the drop-in class, come when you want. That's great for a schedule, but I think the industry is going more towards you sign up for 8 weeks. And when you sign up for 8 weeks, I've got all your information because you've bought this whole program from me. That 8 weeks can be a 1 class a week. It can be one-on-one personal training for 8 weeks, or it can be 2 classes a week, 3 classes a week, whatever it is. But that accountability group, that program, if you will, whether it's a challenge or a paid for program, then they have to actually kind of check out with you. They have to go through a store process so that you're able to collect their email addresses, you're able to collect their phone numbers, you're able to put them into a Facebook group. That way you're collecting their data. But that is really where we're seeing people go, is it's more about wellness and accountability, friendships and community than it is just about sweat.
And I really love that. That was very well said. It makes me, it's different, you guys. When this pandemic first started, everything was free. Then we went to 1 class. I just want to buy 1 class and 1 class because, you know, next week nobody's gonna have to wear a mask, and it's a hoax, and we're all done. It's all over. The sun shone, or I drink a half a cup of bleach, and I'm fine, right? But now we know this. Yeah, where do I stand politically? Okay, so now we know that it's gonna last. I mean, we're stuck with this. We've got at least another month, because you can get 1 vaccine. You got to wait 21 to 24 days. You're going to get your next vaccine. This is a long, drawn-out process. So, Jessica, I think that's very astute and a wonderful recommendation for all the listeners to try to collect the names and the emails and the cell phones so that then we can put them in groups, but also they're willing to do it now because we're stuck in this pandemic.
And what we need to realize too is that people are now used to waking up and working out in their pajamas at 6 a.m. or squeezing in a workout when their kid is napping. It's not this get dressed in your spandex and show up at the gym anymore. It's in the nooks and the crannies. And so in the nooks and the crannies mean that we have to be adaptable to that. We can't expect them to just everyone surging back into the gyms. People who have opened know that's not going to happen. It's going to be a trickle. So while we're trickling, figure out ways that you can still stay engaged with programs.
And Jeff, finally.
So I'm like, so I wanted to piggyback because I know some people have asking like, where are we storing all these videos and what are we doing with all the stuff? But this is going to answer that question in a way. You know, we just had the beginning of the year, and that for fitness is our golden gravy. That's when we're like, join a group, do a challenge. How much weight do you want to lose? Da 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 da. Jessica had just suggested that Valentine's Day is another time that people start to drop off. So you guys at home, you want to start gearing artwork and ideas towards Valentine's Day, doing a 6-week commitment or 8-week commitment. And you're asking, how do I store the videos or where do we do it? I do a private Facebook group because Facebook, I can store as much data on there as I like, and it doesn't go away unless I choose to let it go away. I think on demand is the same way. Jessica, I don't know, you could answer it better. Where else would you store? And I also then take videos off of that and I put it in a Dropbox. So I pay $10.99 a month to have a huge Dropbox that I can keep my videos in and pull them back out if I want to. But you guys, you've got to hit what's going on right now. Valentine's Day, if none of you do not start doing a promo right now with that, you need to. YouTube, we got some stuff about YouTube as well, Jessica. Tell them why YouTube is good and bad.
So I'm going to do a shameless plug really quickly. Jeff, Sarah, and I all lead the virtual training instructor certification for SCW. There's another one coming up in February, and we go deeply into this topic. And that's my only shameless plug for the night, I think. I'll let Sarah do the rest. But when you're looking for on-demand platforms, the problem with YouTube is that it's easily shareable. You cannot lock down that video. So that means that it's going to be easily passed around. Vimeo is another solution that you could use. You can lock a video per se in Vimeo so that people can't access it. Facebook allows for you to put a ton of videos into the group, and then you're accepting people in and kicking people out based on if they're paying you or not. And then there are these other platforms where behind the payment wall is where they access the video. And I know Kelly just started with a new company, but there's a ton of people out there like IntelliVideo, Uscreen, Video on Demand via Vimeo. That's what I was trying to say. They all allow for you to do it. And Kelly, what was the service that you're using now?
Well, the company I'm working for is called ASH, American Specialty Health, and they have a Facebook Live page as well as a website that you can access the videos. So through that, yeah.
And we work with one of our sponsors that just came on Livestream Mania. I believe they charge $20 a month, and it's called Gym Catch. So I'll ask Mike Lieber if he'll put it in the chat box, because they take your money, they'll register the people, you've got a downloadable database that then you own, and you can go through and block and paste and send a whole bunch of emails at once, or use a service called easytexting.com. That's the letter E, the letter Z, texting.com. And it costs you about 5 cents a text, but you load all your cell phone numbers, and you can do simple things like take a picture of yourself, take a selfie that says, join me for my class on Monday. And you go like this and text the photo. And then you can also text a link in there so they can go and register or see you on Facebook. So these little simple, inexpensive options work really well. And Mike, would you put in easytexting.com for people as well so they can just check that out? Those different services, we've never thought about this as instructors. We used to, I don't know if any of you did this, we used to walk in and go, where's the mic? Where's the mic? The mic's not working. And it's like, wake up, sweetheart. Go and take the battery out and do whatever you want with the battery, because here's a new one, and put it in yourself. And we're learning these things. And I'm going to tell you guys, people follow us, okay? We've been telling people what to do. How many years have you been teaching, Kelly?
36.
36 years you've been telling people what to do, and they do it. And if you tell them, take my classes, check me out online, be patient. I'm figuring out my microphone. I'm figuring out my video. I'm going to walk off the screen and I'm wearing the wrong shade of lipstick, whatever it is, they will follow you. Okay. It's not like build it and they will come. You got to collect email addresses, collect cell phone numbers. You've got to make an effort to have the microphone below your lips so people can see you. Make an effort to make it a great experience. But if you tell them what to do, people love you. People love you and they will follow you. Jeff, how did you build your following at your studio? Because you get a ton of people coming and you've still got the live stream following.
It's so funny. I do a lot with posting. I do a lot of social media. I do Facebook and Instagram, and I kind of do it at the same time every day. I try to build a cadence. You know, Jessica and I have found out that, you know, at lunchtime, people are on their social media, no matter if they're working from home or not. So if you post around 12 o'clock or 1, that's when you're going to get the most traction. You know, and so we try to set up a schedule that Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays are going to be our work-related posts. Tuesday and Thursdays are more social, more fun. And so doing a cadence like that is important. But for me, when I'm teaching, always, even streaming, I'm always telling people to share my video. I'm always like, share this, share it on your page, give the gift of fitness, share it, share it, share it. So I'll get 15 shares, which means they're just giving it. And remember, your tribe already loves you. They want to share what you're doing. So tell them to share it, and they'll share it, and they're going to give it out there, and they're going to spread your word out there. And you're going to first do it, and you're going to think you're just like a rock thrown into a pool of water, and it's just going to go to the bottom. But it causes a ripple. And I'm telling you this, that rock will ripple. And maybe you'll have 10 people watching you the first time, but they're going to start to talk to people, and they're going to say, it's a great workout, blah, blah, blah. Just watch it if you want. I gave a lot of workouts away for free. Like Sarah said, we all did. We all did our, you know, our song and dance, and we gave it away for free. And there's still nothing wrong with that. Give them samples. Give them your favorite lower body exercise. Give them your favorite ab, but then say, share this. And then tell them, I'll give you the full workout if you ... Give them samples of it, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, but then take them with you.
I love that. And Kelly, what are your thoughts about that? Making, you know, again, building that tribe and ways to draw more people in.
I've taken a slightly different approach because I didn't do free classes initially. I just didn't go that route. I just didn't feel that that was the way I wanted to go. So I have built community through the service that we're providing from the gym that used to be open, that's now virtual, Breakthrough Fit Pros. And I'm also on Homeroom Fit. So I'm building that community again through, I've given away some Rikers to people who've been really regular in Riker shoes, to people who've been coming to every class as a prize for being regular. I've done different things where I've gotten their email addresses and and phone numbers, and I've been texting them and encouraging them, and I follow them on social media, and I communicate with them on social media. And so I've created this community of people by just being willing to do a little extra work on the side, but I've always done it for pay. I didn't do it for free.
And there's, you know what, there's nothing wrong with that. When I've heard every webinar we have done focusing on personal training, every webinar we've done focusing on personal training, they're all saying, do not lower your rates. Now, and like Jeff said, it's great to give them tidbits, give them a taste of something, but not lowering your rates. And I think that's, Jessica, you're nodding. Tell us your experience with that.
Absolutely. I think if you give them teasers, they get to taste you and they get a little bit of your flavor. It's the same as like going to an ice cream shop and asking for a taster. You're going to get a little bit, enough to know that, oh, I like this. I also like to think of it in terms of wine, but ice cream or wine, whichever one you want to look at it, then you can actually ask at that point, well, come join me for something a little bit more. Remembering that we kind of fit into that nooks and crannies, we're able to offer them small little tidbits of information that establishes you as the expert. By establishing you as the expert, they trust you, which means they'll buy from you. They're not going to buy from you if they don't trust you. And so you can take them on your customer journey by recording your classes, cutting them down into short little snippets for you to put onto your social media. So you're not really doing any extra physical work as much as just slicing and dicing on your computer, posting it out onto your social media, and then getting people to come to your further event.
Oh, I think that's great. And Kelly, you're nodding. You're
Yeah.
nodding.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. And I post my workout, like my Apple heart rate chart after my class, and say, this is what the workout was. These are the intervals we did. This was the class plan. You can find me on Homeroom Fit these days of the week. Come and join me. And then I interact with them. When people make comments, I make comments. I get into conversations with people. So I interact with the people who are commenting on my posts so that I create those relationships and develop that interest.
That is wonderful. And now we're thinking about upcoming holidays, okay? Because that's time to do a fun class, to do a themed class. Again, the focus is how do we create these memorable classes online? Because the bottom line is we want to grow. We want to grow. So we've got, I'm going to tell you guys, Groundhog Day is huge. I would definitely avoid the inauguration. Sometimes, I mean, every 4 years it's fine. I've always done promotion on that. But Groundhog Day is fun. You can't go wrong. You won't offend anyone, and it's terrific. And Valentine's Day is also super, because then you can do that 2-for-1 specials that makes you look good, makes you look good. Like, I'm going to do an 8-week program, and it's 2 people for the price of 1, or whatever program you want to do. But those are definitely the holidays we can use for giving up. Have you guys done any charities? Like, I'm reading, Rocky's talked about charities, and we've got great comments going on. Have you done charitable events that really, there's so many hungry people out there. I mean, we're all on this call, and yes, I feel bad. A lot of us can't teach the classes we used to teach, but if we're still able to put food on our table, especially me, I'm learning how to cook now. Well, my poor family, but yes, I'm learning how to cook. But how can we integrate a charitable event? Like, Jessica, you're chomping at the bit here.
I am. I'm super excited. So most of the gym teachers are also unemployed currently, if gyms are not open or they've gone completely virtual, or they're teaching, 1 hour a week. And so as a fitness professional, I stepped in and volunteered to help lead movement classes for the kids and for the teachers, because the teachers have these little windows now if they're doing virtual, or if they're doing some kind of hybrid. So doing something within your school system for those people who are not able to go out or leave or go to the gym or have an experience anywhere else, or if it's just the children, getting them up and getting them to move for 10 to 15 minutes in the morning and in the afternoons. So because they're mostly virtual right now and stuck in one position, which, as we know, doesn't work for kids. So work with your local school systems and see if you can integrate your movement into that, because they will tell their parents, or their teachers will tell their friends, and you will get this word of mom kind of continuing to spread and trickle and about your other services that you're providing.
Oh, I love that idea. We've got SCW Fitness does what's called a Michael Scott Scudder Scholarship. Michael Scott Scudder, you guys remember Michael? He passed away in 2017. And we miss him terribly. He really helped instrumentally in developing our business side. And so we do a scholarship for people who can't afford to attend a Mania conference. Mike Lieber, again, would you put that link in there? It's just scwfit.com/Scudder. And it's for any type of attendee, but it's also for a sponsor. And there's a wonderful company that does kids programming, which, I think that's terrific. And they're doing workshops at the next live stream Mania. And I'm quickly going to thank everybody, because as usual, you all talk too much. And we're at 6:45. Like, we could do this for an hour and a half, which I'm sure one day we will. So I'm going to show you a quick video, guys. And this is a wonderful video that our fantastic Mike Lieber created for us. So I am going to, here we go. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mike Lever, for always doing such a wonderful job. We will see you on Thursday. Let's see if I remember what it is. Keys to transform social media fans into paying clients. Get them to pay. Send your kids to college and learn to cook and put food on your table. Okay, guys. Thank you.